I debated whether or not I wanted to do this testimony because I feel like we're not up here yet. You know, we're not physically, health-wise, we're not where I would like him to be, and I know, you know, where I'd like to see my son be, but I started thinking about it more and more, and I thought, you know, I do think it is important that I do this, because I think there's a lot of people that have a constant struggle the way that we do with my sons, most likely. And Cash, my middle child, he was diagnosed with, it's called eosinophilic disease, when he was 18 months old. After a very long time of trying to figure out what was going on, we knew something wasn't right. And basically what eosinophilic disease is he has an abnormal amount of white blood cells through his GI tract, and they basically view food, protein, like it's a parasite or a bacteria, and they attack it whenever they see it, and it causes all these toxins to be released, and he becomes extremely ill. He vomits violently and has had blood in his stool, and it's just it's a miserable disease. And we've honestly gone through so many ups and downs with Cash since he's been born that I can't talk about all of it, because I would be here all night. But he's gone through a lot in his 4 years, and through what he's gone through, you know, I've been a Christian myself for years, but I don't think that I ever had a relationship with God, a consistent relationship. And you know, this disease at times it's just brought me to my knees, and I felt hopeless, and I felt like I didn't know where to turn, because, you know, I'm his mom, and I'm supposed to be the one that protects him and helps him, and sometimes there's just nothing I can do. He's sick, and right now he doesn't eat food at all. He's on a feeding tube. He has a feeding tube in his stomach, and when we realized that he wasn't going to be able to eat food anymore, I was 5 months pregnant with my youngest son, Trip, it's a genetic disease, and he's believed at this time to have the disease as well. So God kind of really was on me, saying, you need me. And there's been so many things happen that have you know, led to that point. But what I want to say to anyone is through this situation, I think it would be very easy to just give up and lose your hope and say, you know, God forgot about me. But I continue to see him, and he keeps giving me the strength. And you know, I felt like I wanted to say that if God has given someone a struggle the way he has me in my life, I've realized that there's a purpose for it. And if he's given you this struggle, you're where you are because he's put you there. And I can see so many ways when I look back where my life has changed dramatically for the good since my son got sick. And there's a lot of negative things, and there's a lot of hard days and a lot of exhausting days. But I can look back and I can see these things that he's shown me. I have such a grateful heart for the things that I thought my son would never be able to do, that he gets to do sometimes when he's feeling good. And I don't think that many parents get that. I don't think many parents get to see their kid in that way, you know. My husband and I, it's caused us to become so much closer. We've really had to lean on one another And it's strengthened our marriage in ways that I never would have thought possible. You know, we started reading the Bible together and praying together since my son got sick, and you know, I think God's also given me that mindset where I can see that, and I don't dwell on all the negative things. I have a lot of the time a happy, healthy kid, and he will act healthy and look healthy and seem healthy. He just has flares once in a while, and he gets sick, but whenever he's doing good, and right now at this moment he's doing wonderful, and I just want to soak it up, and God's given me that opportunity to just soak it up, and I feel like He's told me over and over in so many ways not to waste my pain, and I want to do anything I can to tell anyone that if He's given you the struggle, don't waste it. You need to learn from it, and you need to get closer to God because of it. And you need to, maybe He wants you to teach people with it. Maybe He wants you maybe He wants to show you something that you never would have seen before. And that's what He's done for me in my life. And, you know, there's a verse that comes to my mind quite a bit, and it is, many are the plans of a man, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. And that comes to my mind a lot, because I think I had a plan in mind for what my life would be like and what my son's life would be like. And it didn't work out that way, but I'm not convinced that it won't eventually. And I think that all this has happened for a reason. And like I said, I feel like I questioned doing this, because I thought, you know, we're not up at the top of the mountain looking down thinking this is how far we've come. We're basically just strapping our boots up, getting ready to go up the mountain. But if I could say anything to anybody, it is that I know God is giving me the courage and the strength, and He's pushing me up the mountain. And I know that one of these days we're going to be standing at the top of it with Him, looking at how beautiful it is and what He's done for us. And I would just really encourage anyone who has a struggle to just continue to just lean on God and go to Him, because there are days right now where I think you know, it's exhausting, and there are days we don't get out of pajamas at my house, and there are days that have a lot of vomit involved in them, and a lot of crying and things like that. But I can't imagine going through this and not having the hope that God has given me. And even when I have those low days and I feel like I'm losing my hope, He restores it, and He shows me that He's there. And you know, I would just encourage anyone to just keep going after God. And He might not answer you right away, and you might have a constant struggle. There are all kinds of battles in life, and some you win and some you lose, and some keep going on for a long time, and that's where I'm at, and I think there's a lot of people there too. And I would just encourage everyone to, even if you're so tired at the end of the day that all you can do is ask God to lead you to one scripture. Just read one scripture before you go to bed. Just do that every night, or call out to Him any way you can, and He will be there. If it's not right away, He'll show up in ways that you'd never believe. I remember right before my son we had decided to get a feeding tube. It was a constant battle. I didn't want to do it, and he drinks a medical formula. He lives on a medical formula, and he got burnt out. He had been on it for a year and a half, I guess, and it tastes terrible. And he had it, and he was burnt out. And I tried and tried, and from the second we woke up until the second we went to bed, I pushed him and I pushed him and I pushed him, and there was a strain on our relationship at the time, and he's a toddler, and I'm his mom, and we're both really stubborn, and it was a really rough time, and I was almost about to throw the towel in and say, let's just go ahead and get the tube, and I really felt like God was pushing me to just get it, and telling me, it's going to help in the long run. And one day I got the boys out of the house, and which rarely happened at that time. My son was really sick, and on the way back home, both of the boys fell asleep in the car, and I began to pray, and I was so desperate, for answers, and I just prayed. I said, God, just show up, just show up, because I don't see you right now, and I'm looking, and I don't see you. And I said the words, I want you to shine through this storm. And I looked up at that moment, and the sky was filled with clouds, but you could see these little holes where the sun was shining through the clouds. And I thought, I don't know what he wants from me, but that was my, reassurance that he's there, and he hasn't left, and he never has left. He's been right there by our side the whole time. And my son had a feeding tube placed about a month and a half ago, and right now he's doing amazing, and he's trialing a food. He's trialing apples, and we're gonna see how that goes, but he's only about 5 or 6 days in right now, and if it doesn't go well, I'm okay with that, because I know that God, he's got us on this path for a reason. And whether that's just for you to hear my story right now and realize that you need him too, I'm okay with that. I want to really get across to everyone that if he's given you this pain, don't throw that away. It can be a beautiful, beautiful thing if you just soak it up and you learn from it and you get closer to God because of it. I'm Mackenzie Broyles, and he is first.